Today, Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
WEFM, the new fresh sound.
Rise and shine. Let's get ready to take on the day. Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
Good morning, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It is now 7:16. I'd just like to say good morning to those on their way to work, school, just starting their day today. Special good morning to you. Good morning to those in the diaspora. And good morning to everyone locked in to 99.9 this morning. You're listening to Ari, and with me in studio is Roleza. Good morning, Roleza.
Good morning, Ari. And how are you?
I am well, Roleza. And yourself?
Just peachy. Very peachy.
Well, speaking about peachy and things related on that color wheel, yesterday was Valentines, as you know, and it was quite interesting and what's the word that I'm looking for? A lot of persons definitely showed support or celebration for Valentines. I was walking through Kingston yesterday, and a number of persons, both children and adults, were decked out in their red or red-related colors. Maybe it's orange, maybe it's peach, but a lot of persons were in their colors. Yesterday, there were a lot of balloons, there were a lot of roses. So even the children got their chocolates and roses. And speaking of children getting chocolate, roses, and cupcakes, Adrian Udo posted a video that seems to have gone viral here in St. Vincent Grenadines with one St. Martin student and another one I believe to be a St. Martin student standing outside of St. Joseph Convent, Kingston, one holding a sign saying, "Will you be my Valentine?" and another on one knee in what appears to be a suit with a red on the undershirt on the under the jacket, and he had two cupcakes just there kneeling in front of the convent, I guess, trying to woo his Valentine. A lot of persons thought that was funny, myself included. That was extremely funny to me because one, I don't think a lot of those those girls were allowed to leave the gate at that time, and two, I don't think convent is where you should be looking for love, friend. You're just about to get disappointed.
Oh, Lord.
You're just about to get disappointed.
Please
friend.
do not go into that debate. Do not go
You're
into
just
that
about to
conversation.
get your heart broken, friend. When you go and you have your cupcakes and your roses and you're in front of the convent
So when you speak with such authority on this, is this from personal experience?
I have seen convent girl broke many great men.
Yeah, but unless it happened to you directly, how can you speak with this with some authority? Listen,
convent
you can get your heart broken by
all evil.
So why you just even sanction girls
no,
and done?
Convent girl is the root of all evil.
Well, you have problems.
Convent girls is the root of all evil, and I am sure a lot of gentlemen have come out and discussed their stories in relation to convent girls this morning. But
all right, so for the older folks who may not realize that Ari is actually joking, right? But there is this national discussion or this national thing. It's not no regional,
it's
but
regional.
Actually, it's happening
it
in
is
Trinidad.
regional. St. Lucia, Belize.
I've heard of it in Trinidad as well.
Once you're a convent girl, it is believed that you are
Lord.
evil. But outside of that, there's a hardware store in Barbados that I think it's Carter's is the name that also went viral for their Valentine's ad. They were selling ropes, chains, and different accessories, and they had a little Valentine's twist to it that was quite humorous. But unfortunately, it did not only stay on the humorous side.
So before we move off from that, I need to give commendations to the young man who did that little bit of a display of affection. I think the only thing I was wondering if it's whoever the young lady was, how her parents may have looked at it, because, some parents may be serious about these type of things and so forth. But I mean, I found it to be cute. I wouldn't necessarily think too much on it. And I think what it is that I respected or I liked was the fact that because they're so young, to see somebody do such a display of affection publicly, because he was outside the school gate, vehicles are passing. The only one thing that I had a query about was, I think it's the container had 4 cupcakes in it. So I was wondering what happened to the other 2. But I mean, it could just be an issue of the packaging. But I like to see this. I like to see our young men still being bold enough to do things to make young ladies smile. I mean, yes, they are young because they're still in school, they're still in secondary school. But I mean, it's a good start. And for that young man and his wingman, because they had to big up the brethren too. The brethren was the one they holding the sign. It's these little things that we like to see, that we know that courtship isn't dead. Men still know how to do things to make women smile. So it's a good start to you, young man.
Yes, and unfortunately, we did not stay on the positive realm as it relates to Valentines, as yesterday we recorded murder number 7. So, according to Eyewitness News, a woman was chopped to death in Campden Park on Wednesday, Valentine's Day, leaving her 3-month-old twin babies and their older siblings without a mother. The slain woman has been identified as Corona Jennings, who is said to be a 25-year-old mother of 7 children. Eyewitness News was reliably informed that the woman's body was discovered in her yard sometime around noon by one of her older children. The homicide victim's blood painted the yard red on the day that the color is used to symbolize a passion of love. Investigators are said to have also found blood in her house, suggesting that she might have been attacked there and collapsed and died in her yard while fleeing her assailant. Sources say that the woman is believed to have been killed sometime after a man arrived at her home inquiring about her boyfriend. One of the woman's children is said to have been leaving the property around that time to visit a relative. When the child returned sometime later, the woman was found dead in her yard. Her twin babies are said to have been born last December, and they were found inside the house while their mother was dead in the yard. Eyewitness News understands that the police found evidence at the scene that suggested that the woman had been dead for some time before her body was discovered. And this brings the number of homicides to 7 in St. Vincent and the Grenadines this year. And 4 of those killings occurred last week. There's a lot to unpack here. There's a lot to unpack here. This is now 7 children that's definitely going to have to undergo counseling. And if you were able to see the live on Eyewitness News, you would see that she was found between 2 structures there, which seem to be behind Eustace in Campden Park. As you know, behind Kendra's, Eustace, Rudy's, those businesses, there's a river. It seemed like this had happened across the river. And this now leaves a number of, 7, these 7 children having to be counseled, having to need a grief counselor. They need somebody to talk to. They need their family members to become active. And then the police really do need the assistance of residents of Campden Park in finding out just who this killer is. And when they find him, listen, this man needs to go under the jail. How could you chop 25-year-old, what the age don't even matter, chop a woman to death, regardless of the situation? How does this happen? And the last couple, the one on Saturday where the baby was killed, they're saying that mental health might be the issue. The person might not be all the way there, but how long do we keep accepting that excuse? This person wasn't mentally stable, and this is the reason why you've lost your mother. This is the reason why you lost your wife. This is the reason why you lost your daughter. How long are we going to keep accepting that? But what are your thoughts?
All right, so I will be very honest that yesterday when I came across this story, my heart sank significantly. I actually cried. I cried because of the fact that this is a young mother who has been taken away from her children, right? I cried at the fact in the way in which she died. I cried at the fact that I actually knew the person, right? She is an individual who I would see, or I used to see, around Kingston. And at the times that I saw her, she always had a little boy with her, but I got to understand that there were occasions when she would have two of her children with her, but I only ever saw her with one in particular. I used to see her around the area next to Salvation Army, and at the time of seeing her, she would have like a bottle with sweets, or she'd be selling snacks, right? And so I would give her a sale, and giving her a sale, I actually never purchased an item. I would just give her the money, because what it is that I came to respect about her is that she didn't come into Kingston just to beg for money, even though she had her son with her. She was actually still trying to earn a living of sorts. Of course, it may not necessarily have been anything of significance in terms of the amount of money that she would have been receiving, but she got my respect for how polite she was. She was not confrontational in the sense where if you told her no or whatever, she would not say anything derogatory towards you. Never got any kind of bad side eyes from her. She was always pleasant. And I think what sometimes hurts or hits a little bit harder is when you can actually put faces to some of these situations that you come across. And yesterday was one of those situations for me. Coupled with that, February 14th is always a bit of a bittersweet day for me, because 7 years ago, another friend of mine was also brutally murdered on that day, Randy Lawrence. And, so it's always a day that, yes, you want to be celebrating, or yes, you want to be happy, but then you also have these memories. And this situation has added to that. What's now going to be a memory of Valentine's Day not being one of the pleasant ones, right? I actually didn't realize that she had 7 children in total, inclusive of the twins. And it's difficult for me to wrap my head around how could somebody take the life of someone who is so young, who has so many children, who has children who are 3 months old, who would not even have a memory of their mother. And now I have to ask the question, what's going to happen to these children? What's going to happen to this family? She may have been in her own humble way trying to do her best to keep her family together. Now, I don't know anything else about her. I don't know about the circumstances of her life. I don't know, because I know to have 7 children at the age of 25 is a lot, But I am not going to be judgmental or necessarily question, because I can understand how that situation could happen. But to rob children of their mother, 3-month-old children in particular, I don't know. And I was speaking with Crystal on this last night, and we were speaking on a tangent of different issues coming out of it. When you have situations like this happening where children are going to be losing their mothers at such a young age, we wonder what's going to happen to them when they get older. Their family is not going to be the same, because I'm not sure if any one person is willing to take all 7 children, right? And, for the child who discovered his mother, what's going to happen to him in terms of the long run? How is this going to impact on him psychologically? What type of love and attention would these children be receiving when they go to different homes? And then we look at the impact on these type of situations on our young and our vulnerable within society. And then we have a myriad of issues that can come out of children who have been robbed of their mothers at an early age. So I was not just looking at the situation in isolation in terms of the mother dying, but I'm looking at the entire spill-off effects of children losing their mother at a young age, So, yeah, it really pulled at my heartstrings yesterday. And then, as I said, it just downed my spirits for the rest of the evening. But condolences, of course, go out to the children. Condolences goes out to the family, and to those who would have known her, because, as I said, I respected her as an individual who was trying to, trying in her own little way to be able to get back.
We have to also consider the neighbors. Were there also other children in the area? Or the person said he's screaming? this is just an all around difficult situation, and I do hope that persons who witness this or who are experiencing this currently, the children, the family members, their neighbors, friends, I do hope that they are receiving support and, if necessary, the counseling that they would require in a situation like this. And I am offering my condolences to the family. No one wants to wake up to these news, to see this on social media, especially if it's a loved one. And I really do hope that this does not end as another unsolved mystery. I really do hope that they're able to bring the murderer to justice, because this is just completely horrible. But the time is now 7:31. At 7:35, we'll have our traffic talk, and we'll be back at 7:45 to continue activated mornings this morning.
Shop at Lane's